Hello, Anthropology 235. Welcome to class. I am your professor, Professor Dorian, and we're going to be using some video in this class to shrink the boundary between us electronically in the world. So, this is an introduction sort of video, so bear with me. I'm going to try to get out a couple of ideas about what this class is about and kind of get you on the path to understanding what you're going to be doing every week. So, first and foremost, important to mention that um, this class is divided into two halves, let's say. One half is sort of an analytical, um, objective side, and the other half is a more engaging, reading, critical thinking side. And you're going to be doing both things. And when I call them halves, they're not very equal. Uh, the objective piece should be relatively straightforward and easier for you to accomplish. The second half, this critical thinking and reading and engaging side, you're going to be spending 80% of your time there. If you're not spending 80% of your time there, you should rethink how you're approaching class, in my opinion. Okay, so this is the breakdown. Each week, you're going to be responsible for doing a quiz based on a chapter in a textbook from the Sutton book. This is going to help ground us and give us some sort of basis to begin discussion about various themes that you can find in the syllabus. As well, each week, you are going to be responsible for reading the material and or watching the material that I have for you or engaging with the material. It'll be sometimes videos, all the time articles, sometimes some websites to peruse through. You are responsible for that. And then at the end of the week on Sunday, when everything is due, you will, or at least by Sunday, you will produce a participation video essentially for me based on some questions that I will ask you in the video. This all happens in a thing called UCU, and on your Canvas page, um, this class is broken down by modules, and the first piece, the first sort of like line, I guess, would send you to all the material, and then down at the end of each, I guess maybe the third or fourth line in each module will say participation week 1 or so on and so forth. If you click that, it will bring you to a page, and then you'll get to UCU and be able to use your videos. If there are problems with using videos, you should let me know as soon as possible so we can figure out another solution to you doing this activity. My opinion, it might seem odd, or you might not. You might feel uncomfortable like I do right now talking to the computer, but you'll get over that. And the face-to-face thing is going to be much easier for you than anything else, and it's going to be more beneficial to us and creating a relationship where we can learn together and from each other. So consider all of that. So that's what you're going to be responsible for each week. There's also 1 week where you're going to be responsible for coming up with a lesson plan. The lesson plan is really just a synthesis of the articles for that week, so you're kind of more intensely reading these things and producing a document for me, as well as some questions that come up for you as you read these things. Now, when you think about the questions, you want to think about them in the context of the class. Really, there are no wrong answers or questions in this case. So feel free to explore this academic space that we have here, and don't feel too crazy about being right or wrong, especially with those questions. So you can read more about those particular assignments in more detail. I have information for you so nobody feels like they don't understand what's going on. A couple of notes about class and the way we're going to start. We are approaching this class from what's known as a culture area perspective, in which we break down large areas of this North American continent into things called culture areas. There are some drawbacks to using this system, and we all should be aware of what those are. Uh, Nonetheless, we are using it. I think it's a basis for us to start understanding more about the indigenous peoples that have inhabited this country for a long time. So if there's more questions about culture area, which I think is sort of visited on page 4 and 5 of the textbook, then you please bring that up. This is important. As well, we are using a concept called the ethnographic present. The ethnographic present, and what that essentially means is that we are taking a slice of time and talking about a people with relation to this one section and slice of time. And there are also serious drawbacks to that. I hope that you can think about some right now. If we don't understand either the culture area or the ethnographic present piece of things, you should bring that up so we can have this discussion together for everyone. Ethnographic present is problematic most primarily because we are describing a culture based on this one slice in time, which doesn't allow for the fact that they may have changed up until this point and will continue to change in the future, right? It creates culture as a static, unchanging thing, which it most certainly is not. It's the opposite of that. It's adaptive and constantly changing. So, those two things as well. In this class, we're going to spend a significant amount of time confronting the history that we may or may not have learned as youth, and in some instances, in all instances, challenging that and adding to it, but in some instances, turning it on its head. So, confronting history from an anthropological perspective, right? And that's what we're kind of resulting in here, is that we're developing an anthropological perspective that you're not going to get in many other disciplines. All this being said, we are certainly concerned about learning about the indigenous peoples of North America, and I think this class is organized very well. I'm very excited to be able to teach it here. So happy learning to you. Good luck, and get going, I guess. See ya.